Okay, everyone's saying that Charlotte is drafting Brandon Miller, leaving Scoot to fall to number 3, which for now is Portland's pick. You said yesterday that Portland can't have 2 6'2" guards, but you also said passing on Scoot would be a nail in Jordan's coffin as GM. So what would be worse? Charlotte passing on Scoot or Portland keeping Dame?
Charlotte passing on Scoot is indefensible. And for some reason, even though Jordan's selling the team, they're letting him make the pick. I understand he's 6'2". But the reason they would be passing on him, from all reports, are less about how much they love Brandon Miller and more about the Scoot LaMelo fit. Guys, then trade LaMelo. Trade LaMelo, reboot the whole thing with new ownership, have Scoot be the forward-facing guy. Instead, they're going to take a good player, but I believe an inferior player who... Dior is totally unaware of this story because this happened way previous to the podcast. So I think it'll be jaw-dropping to you that this is, some guys come into the league with a little bit of baggage. Brandon Miller was, I want to get this exactly right, one of Brandon Miller's teammates was arrested for murdering someone, and Brandon Miller dropped the gun off to the teammate who did it. Allegedly, this is what is reported. Now, it was the kid's gun, not Brandon Miller's. He didn't know what he was going to do with it, all of this, but...
He didn't know what he was going to do with the gun?
No, it would appear not.
Allegedly.
But it was a young woman who was killed. It was like not even like it was a dispute at a bar in Tuscaloosa. And so they have that, Charlotte has that baggage, which it feels like people have been afraid to talk about. I was a little afraid to talk about it there, but we know the other kid's in jail.
Well, yeah.
The Charlotte also is potentially bringing back Miles Bridges, who missed all of last season because, again, allegedly, he beat the hell out of, I don't know if it's girlfriend, fiance, but terrible. And so that to me, and then you're doing all of this because LaMelo, who we don't yet know if he's a winning player, needs to be the guy. I don't get it. I would draft Scoot. They're not going to. Now, if you're Portland, would I trade Scoot for Zion and say, Dame, you want to stay? Let's try to see if Zion and you can do something. That trade I would do. But if you're not going to do that, then you have Scoot, you have Shaedon Sharpe. Whether Dame wants to leave or not, you probably need to just move on. Because, and this is the thing with Dame, and this is the analogy I tried to use on television, but I kind of butchered it. I believe Dame wants to win a title. I believe Dame wants to be a Blazer forever and one team his whole career, be a legend there. I believe he wants both of those things. It is unfortunate, and it is not his fault, because Portland has been they have made terrible front office moves over the last half decade. Never got him a second star, never built a defense understanding his limitations, 6'2" guy, all of it. Got it. But you are now in this reality, and you are now in the situation where the two things you want cannot happen. The analogy I tried to use on TV was, if you are someone who says, my career is massively important to me, I want to be as great as possible, make as much money as possible, and I want to be a present parent, pick my kids up from school at all the events, and someone offers you a job that would be your dream job, the job, and it's cross-country, and the family wouldn't move. Now, the two things you want are in conflict, and you have to make a choice. You have to decide, okay, in a perfect world, I want both. I can only have one. What's more important? If Dame chooses to stay in Portland, He is saying staying a Blazer is more important than winning because they are winning a championship. Because at this point, they are diametrically opposed. For Dame, he's got to make a choice. But the other part of this is Portland can make the choice, which is if we're serious about winning at some point, we can supercharge this rebuild with Scoot, Shaden Sharp, and and what we get for Damian Lillard. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.